Greetings! I'm Troy Newham, the author of 2084, The Search for Love, Hope, and Faith, the best book you'll ever read. It's available on Amazon.com. You can get it in paperback or in Kindle version. I have a smutty and clean edition, so whichever floats your boat, man. I also maintain a blog at swampfoxpress.com. It's the greatest blog on the internet. If you disagree, I will double your money back. It's free. So you should totally check it out. It's got a lot of great commentary in it because it's written by the guy who wrote 2084, The Search for Love, Hope, and Faith. Now this week's message from Moses is going to be about Obamacare, which is going to be the most important thing the government's going to do to you probably in the next 25 years, I'm assuming. Of course, this government has gone crazy, so who knows what else they're planning. I mean, we got a whole bunch of treaties out there waiting to be ratified from the UN, and the UN's always got our best interests at heart. Bless them. But let's just assume that this is the worst thing that we have to deal with, shall we? Okay. I'm not going to deal with that is unconstitutional. I dealt with that last week. And that argument's not going anywhere. Supreme Court says it's constitutional and we're stuck with it, at least for the meantime. So, you know, we're stuck with this unconstitutional tax. It's a direct tax. It's not based on income or proportion to the population, but they have ruled that it's constitutional. So we will pretend, for the sake of argument, that it is constitutional. Now here's why we need to have it repealed. And I don't care if you love Obama, love Obamacare, I'm going to break it down. Just sheer facts and numbers, something that we cannot disagree with. This is what is going to happen. And this is not rhetoric. Okay? Basically, every employer is now going to be subject to about $2,000 per employee tax. So, now, a lot of people will say, well, if you have a lot of employees, that means that you have a lot of revenue. You'll be able to absorb it, no problem. You should pay up. You should do your civic duty. Alright. What about Best Buy? How many employees do you think Best Buy has nationwide? A few thousand, perhaps? Did you know that for every 1,000 employees, you're going to be looking at about a $2 million tax? They've posted losses. Severe, terrible, life-endangering losses for the longest time. So now every year they're going to have to pay $2 million extra. They're doomed. I mean, all the Best Buys, that's going to be the death knell. They're done. They're toast. They're going to close down. All those employees are going to be out of work. Do you think those employees are going down to Sears and buying a new washer and dryer? Do you think they're going to go over there and buy the latest Tommy Hilfiger pants? Nope. They're not going to be contributing. They're going to be out looking for work, hopefully, if they're not just soaking up unemployment. And most of these employees for Best Buy are college kids. College kids who are healthy, don't need insurance, probably don't even want the insurance. If you ask the college kid, hey, would you rather I give you free health insurance, or would you rather I give you an extra $2,000 to do with whatever you want? They're like, I think I'll take the $2,000. So I was going down to Cancun with my friends, and sounds like fun. So people forget that all these benefits that employers give you, they could probably just pay you extra salary. So you're not really coming out ahead. You're just prepaying an expense that you may or may not have wanted. So then you have the second class, this quote-unquote cutoff for what a large employer is. Now, IRS considers a large employer to be anyone who has more than 49 employees. So here's the question. If you have 49 employees and your accountant comes to you and says, you know, if you hire one more employee, it's going to cost you $40,000. Do you think you're going to hire that one more employee? Or do you think you say, well, you know, I wanted to hire a new janitor, but I'll stay an extra hour late after work and clean up myself? Of course you're going to do it. Because the people who own businesses are self-interested, and they should be. That's the whole point of life. The whole downfall of communism is assuming that people aren't self-interested when in fact they are. Now, the fact of the matter is, you say, well, you say they can't afford it. Well, the owner should take a cut. Alright, well, let's say I own 3 pizza places. I'm paying myself a salary of $75,000. You come to me and you say, Troy, you're going to owe $44,000 on this new penalty. And I say, well, I'm already running razor thin. The economy's just been killing me, man. Well, I guess I could take a pay cut of $44,000, pay myself only $31,000. They say, yeah, that's what you should do. Or I could quit my job and I could go work for that guy over there who's going to pay me $50,000. Well, let's see, 31,000, 50,000, 31,000, 50,000. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm probably going to close up shop. Here again, all those people, bam, out of work. Now here's another thing, and this is fun. All these penalties only kick in if someone buys the insurance from the exchange, which basically means poor people. So if I have 100 employees and I got one person in there who's poor and who's eligible to go buy from this exchange, and I know that him buying from this exchange is going to cost me, you know, a couple $100,000, that guy's toast. I'd fire him in a heartbeat. Everybody would, because it's insane. These little triggers are going to cause all these unintended consequences. I don't think Obama hates poor people. He might, but I don't think he does. So why is he giving an incentive to fire them? Why is he giving an incentive to fire, you know, these employees right at the 50 employee level? That's what he's doing. It's unintentional. Hence, unintended consequences. Kind of in the title, isn't it? That and these laws are insanely expensive. Okay? From just a sheer putting them into implementation standpoint. Do you know how much extra bookkeeping this is going to cost? I mean, the detail that you're going to have to... ADP is going to love this law, because let me tell you something, you are not going to keep up with your employees on your own. You can't do it. You have to have them doing these forms for you. Keeping up with all this data, it's going to be a bureaucratic nightmare. If you think things are bad now about getting Form A to get Form B to get Form C to go over here to go get the green form upstairs, place that drives you mad, well, guess what? It's about to get like that. It's going to be ungodly to, you know, cycle through all this stuff. And everyone's going to have to do it. It's crazy. And finally, you know, there's the whole concept that people want these perks. Let me ask you a question. Do we all eat food? Yeah, we all eat food, right? Alright, what if your employer came to you and said, you know what? I noticed that every day you eat food. Yeah, I do eat food every day. I love it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to deduct $22,000 out of your paycheck every year, and you can eat as much food as you want. And that's based on 3 meals a day, $365 at $20 a piece. Would you go for it? You probably wouldn't. I don't know too many people who spend $20 a meal. Maybe you do if you eat out a lot and you like nicer restaurants, say. You know, just casual dining type stuff. But most people would rather have the $22,000 and spend it how they see fit. But let's say now the government says, we're forcing you to buy this food plan. Oh, crap. Again? Yes, it's the food tax. We'll have a tax if you don't buy the plan. Is that constitutional? According to the Supreme Court, it is. Oh my God. Really? We did that? Yeah, we did. Okay. So you pony up the money. Here's a question. Now that you ponied up the money and you go into a restaurant, you know that it's free. Would you get the $7 hamburger or the $70 ribeye steak from Ruth Chris? It's costing you the same. It's quote-unquote free. It's a set price. You're probably going to go for the premium, aren't you? Not only that, but the restaurants, they've got a guaranteed money stream. They're going to charge whatever they want. Instead of charging $7 for the hamburger, hell, they're probably going to just up it to $14. Why not? Because, hey, you're not paying for it. They're not paying for it. No one's paying for it. It's free, right? And so the other side effect is, don't you think you're going to eat a lot more food? I mean, if I'm paying $22,000 for food and I can eat all I want, and I better eat all I want because I'm not getting my money's worth. So I'm going to stuff my face and probably get fat, but that'll come in handy because now I have free healthcare, right? Fat-free healthcare? That's kind of good. So don't you think the same thing is going to happen with the medical side of things, when it's free and no one has to pay for it, you might take more of it. You might get the higher premium stuff instead of saying, well, I'll settle for this. It's all I can afford. You'll say, nah, give me the $100,000 surgery instead. You know, it makes you make irrational financial choices. And this is exactly what's going to happen. And if you think that we have a shortage of medical care now, just wait until it's free for everybody. And that's when you get into the whole death penalty thing. I'm not going to talk about that because no one's interested. It's been heard. They'll say, it's irrational, you're just being stupid. Okay, whatever. So, anyway, if you would like to hear more about the downfall of America due to government interference in the free markets and the takeover of America by leftist powers, I highly recommend 2084. It's an excellent read. It's very quick to read, very entertaining, very insightful. I highly recommend it. Now, the other book I have on Amazon is War Journal, and quite honestly, it's a bit dark, but I love it. I really do. The characters in it still touch me, and I don't know, it just feels real. Feels real. Anyway, again, check out my blog at swamppotspress.com. That's swamppotspress.com. And I'm sure I'll have a lot of stuff to talk about between now and the election. We gotta repeal Obamacare. And the only way to do that is to defeat Obama and the Democrats, honestly. And we have got to repeal it because all this stuff happens in 2014. Amazingly, after Obama's re-election campaign. Isn't that interesting? The timing of that? Gee, I wonder why he had all the popular stuff come into effect before the election of 2012 and all the bad stuff happened after the election of 2012. I'm sure that's just a coincidence, isn't it? Anyway, check me out. It's on the blog. Read my books, they'll change your life. Long live the Constitution. Signing off.